Hi everyone, this is AL and welcome back. So today I'm just going to do a brief review. Brief for me, that's funny. My briefest review is like 30 minutes so far. We're going to try to keep this under 15. This is actually a deck that is going to go to a friend of mine. And I wanted to do a quick review because I know that there's been a lot of controversy around people who leave the intuitive business, things of that nature, and yet they leave behind such a beautiful process for us to work with. I want to go over the fact that even though they may have left, the things that they've done while they were here does not necessarily mean that you have to get rid of them or that they're not useful. That being said, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're useful for you, but sometimes you try those things and figure out that they're not meant for you, but you definitely know for a fact that they're better for others. And that was the case for this deck. I actually got this deck as a gift years and years ago. A friend of mine had known that I had wanted this deck and got it for me. Messages for Your Angels by Doreen Virtue. Had known that a couple of her meditation audios had done wonders for me to get me to de-stress, to work for me to on the inside, had done wonders for me that way, helping me to recover during a surgery, and had bought me this deck. And I didn't touch them until probably 3 weeks ago. And when I did, I realized that I had outgrown the deck, which does happen, by the way. In case you're kind of curious about that, you will outgrow decks and discover that you've grown past your need for that particular deck. So don't be ashamed about that. It happens. So let's go into this deck a bit. Now, first off, I wanted to let you know it's a small guidebook. It's not that thick. So it's fairly simple to learn. And in this book, there are some spreads that you can do. Some of them are actually, you'll see that they mimic other spreads that you do, but the meanings are different. And that's something you'll find that happens throughout many decks. And that's perfectly wonderful. The idea here is that any spread you learn can be used for multiple purposes. It's the intent that makes a difference. And that's something we're going to go into on another video. Now, the back of this deck, I have to admit, I love. And the angel wings are perfect, but I love the fact that the earth is there and it's almost got that whole, the cloud, almost like the cloud aspects within the Milky Way there. And that's something I absolutely love. Now, I'm going to tilt this down a little bit, so bear with me because this is going to be terrible when I go ahead and bring this back up. As you see, I do have my crystals laid out. So we're going to go from left. We're going to go from left to right, and I'm going to tell you what these crystals are, okay? So, this crystal here, isn't that beautiful? See the little the oranges in it? So, I know, right? I'm so happy about this crystal. This crystal is sodalite with sunburst. I want to call it sunburst. I always want to call it sunburst. It's not. This one is actually. It actually has in it the sun crystal, and for the life of me, my mind just went blank on it. Sunstone. This is black tourmaline, and if you watch my other video, we talked about this when we went through the crystal deck. This one is one we haven't really talked much about, but I love it. It is a rainbow obsidian, and I know you can't really tell much, but like right here on the corner, if you hold it up to the light, there's a touch of color in it. and I love it for that purpose. And this one also is another beautiful stone, which the best way I can explain this stone to you is, I want to go, I got one and you don't. This stone is basically what's called a Super 7. It has basically 7 different stones within it. And it is not a cheap stone. So you can't just run out there and go get it. You actually have to save up for it. Now, I will be honest with you. I was blessed with 2. And I will probably in my life have those 2. And if I manage to get more, I will be thrilled. These 2 stones here are citrine. Yes, they're not as clear cut as the citrine you're probably used to seeing, but when it comes to tumbled citrine, lower, not jewelry style, that's what you'll see a lot of times. This stone here, let me tell you, I did not get the tumbled form, and I will eventually get a tumbled form, but I have 2 of these, big style. It's called girasol. It's a form of this stone here, but it's a little slightly clearer, and it's actually really good for magical intent purposes, clearing yourself out, and it's called girasol. So I really love that stone. Now these are rose quartz. Notice the total color composition of both are slightly different. The round one here is a little bit deeper. It's a little bit of a better quality in the sense of being able to do more with it, like showcase it in jewelry. And this one here fits the palm of my hand. So when I'm working magic with it, more intent purpose, it fits. Or if I'm worried at work, I can just squeeze the heck out of it. Now, this one here is Mukite. I love the color on it. It's probably why I bought it. So yeah. This one here is another Super 7 that I love. I love you. I love you so much. And then this one here is my quartz crystal. Tumbled. So it crackles. So it looks like a little crackled bit. And that's the way it should look. So I want to look at the deck. Some of the pictures here real quick. I'm not going to do a reading. But I'm just going to pick a couple of different cards and just basically give you a little bit of an idea what you can do with this. First card that comes up is Layla. And it says, spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. And that's one thing about this deck is it's very positive in nature. There's nothing that makes you go and think deeper. And I think that's one of the reasons why I had outgrown it, because I am somebody who works in the shadow realm a lot, as a druid, as a shaman. So I'm used to doing soul retrievals, helping people get in touch with themselves. So that's kind of one of the reasons why the deck is a little bit less me and more one of my friends who is such a positive person. She so deserves this deck. Seraphina, I am the angel of families. A happy changer addition is coming to your family. And this one, I love the way this one looks. Teresa, time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. How many of us haven't done that today or in the past week? Me, I haven't. So there are things that in this deck that you'll notice is that it's a lot of pastels. There's some deeper colors, but the pictures are all of angels, of angelics, like Akasha. You are a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life mission. And so this deck is, I mean, to be honest for you, anybody who works with angels will adore this deck. Anyone who is a positive person or wants to reinforce the positivity to make people stop and think, hey, look, have you done this lately? Have you meditated? You're kind of on a tipsy-topsy moment. This deck is for that purpose. I'm not telling you that this deck isn't a good deck. It is a great deck. It's not an AL deck. When I get to the fairy tale deck, you and I are going to have a rockingly good time with that deck, the fairy tale deck. We're going to probably have crystals out, set up above the deck. We're going to do a reading and stuff. But for this deck, it doesn't touch my heart in the way that I thought it would. I loved the pictures originally. I love the thought process of it. Like this, Rochelle. As you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming to you now. Their cards are all of that nature. So I have discovered that it's not that I don't like those types of things anymore. It's just that I've grown beyond them. So I'm not saying that this deck isn't worth anything to anybody. I know a lot of people who this deck is perfect for right now. But I have a friend who is the positivity person who this is just perfect for, and which is why this deck is going to her. And the reason why it's going to her is, one, she does have an angel tarot. And the other reason is the fact that she is such an uplifting person. She deserves to be blessed with something of this nature, because it definitely is her. So I wanted to showcase this a little bit, let you guys know that even though people may leave our group, it is okay to still use their things that they left us. Not because that you're dishonoring your system or you're dishonoring who you are, but you're honoring what works. And after all, we're all about using what works. And if it works, why not use it? Seriously. I'll be the first one to tell you, if it works, I'm using it, and I don't care about anything else. So yeah, use it, have fun with it, enjoy it. So until next time, which I promise probably won't be too far along, have a beautiful day, have a beautiful time. Bendithian blessings.